I never imagined my own son would go so far as to push me off the table and onto the floor in front of the whole family on Christmas Eve. I punished him so severely that he fell at my feet and begged for forgiveness. I still can't erase that night from my mind. The table was laden with turkey and sparkling decorations. Laughter rang out, children were running around. I was a man who had spent years on Wall Street, a name known in New York's most powerful business circles. But despite all that power, despite the weight of that reputation, with one move by my son David, I had suddenly become a helpless old man in everyone's eyes. David's face showed a mixture of anger and determination. When he asked me to make room for his father-in-law to get up from the table, I understood that this was not just a request, it was a challenge, an attempt to belittle me, to put me in my place. I was determined. I refused. At that moment, my son's eyes blazed. In a flash of rage, he leaned toward me and shoved me with all his strength. My chair tipped backward, my back hitting the hard wooden floor. A murmur rippled through the room, the children's screams echoing. I was on the floor, eyes on me, my son standing there panting. It wasn't just my body that fell that night. My pride, my dignity, and my trust in my son were also shattered. I had never felt so powerless. As the Christmas lights sparkled on the ceiling, I made a dark decision inside. That night, I would teach my son the lesson of his life. If it were you, would you forgive your son? If your answer is no, write why in the comments. If your answer is yes, like the video. When I got home, I lay down on my bed and cried until my pillow was soaked. But by dawn, the spirit of revenge within me had awakened. And the next day, I made my move. I fired David from my company. I took back the house I had given him on Long Island. I demanded the keys to his car. I cut off all support from his bank accounts. When he woke up in the morning, he had 36 missed calls waiting for him, and everything he had owned the night before was now gone. For a year, my son's name was associated not with success, but with downfall. When his wife took the children and returned to Ohio, he was left alone. The man who worked beside me in Manhattan's skyscrapers had become a worker cleaning the cold streets of Boston in the morning frost. The smell of detergent on his hands reminded him daily of the luxury he had lost. With every sidewalk he swept, he shed a little more of his pride. With every trash bag, he paid again for the shame he had caused me. And one day, an envelope was left under my door. A few sentences written in shaky handwriting. "Dad, I made a mistake. I learned humility. I beg your forgiveness. Please forgive me." My throat tightened as I read those lines. Soon after, there was a knock at my door. Before me stood my son, pale, trembling, kneeling on his knees. My answer was brief. Not every wound heals, and this is one of them.